All knowledge is self-involving. Every time I say I know something, it's I that am knowing, and as I said before, there is no such thing as a point of view which is nobody's point of view. And this always involves us, whenever we say I know anything or anyone, it involves us in the risk of imagining that the thing or person that we know is the way we would like them to be. This is obviously the case in personal relationships. Anyone who's ever done any marriage counselling on either side of the table, as it were, knows how easy it is for a couple to imagine that the other one is as they want them to be. You know, when I married you, I thought ... And that the task of marriage, the task of all love, is to allow oneself to be open to who that person or what that thing really is, as opposed to what we always imagined. We all would sign up to this in theory, I think, though it's a lifelong task in practice, not only in human relationships, but in many other areas as well. And of course, it's like that in history. We would like it to be the case that when we look back at the great wars of the last century, that our type of people, our sorts of chaps, were the good guys and that the other lot were the bad guys. And the more we look at history, the more we realize just how deeply ambiguous so many things were in the past. And so that there's very few people who can say, oh, well, we've always been on the right side. That would be a naive thing. If we heard someone else say it, we would say, don't be so silly, but we all fall into that trap ourselves. And that's why we need to realize where we sit and stand ourselves and approach cautiously whatever it is we're studying. For this, when it's a matter of history, we need what is called sympathetic imagination. That is, we need to become adept at thinking the thoughts of people who think differently from ourselves. How do we do that? How do we learn to think into the minds of first century Jews? How do we learn to think into the minds of first century Romans? Well, total immersion in their literature, in their culture, in their worldview is the way to go. And this is part of what I meant by an epistemology of love, respecting that they are other than ourselves. I don't think like this, but maybe they did. I don't normally look at this bit of the world this way. Maybe they did. How do we do that? For that task, I and others have developed a model of worldview. Now, the word worldview has been used by many thinkers in different ways. This is how I see it. A worldview is not what you look at, it's what you look through. I am looking through these lenses in my spectacles. They enable me to bring certain things into focus which otherwise would be really very fuzzy. In the same way, when you walk down the street in a town with which you're familiar or in a town which you're not familiar, you are aware of certain things going on and you construe them, you put them into a grid. Here is a shop, here is a library, here is an art gallery, and you look at those in the light of what you know about the culture. And if there are objects which are puzzling, you try to figure out what is it about this culture that means that they have something like this or a store like that, or whatever it is. So that the worldview elements which I and others have sketched work like this. Worldviews have stories and symbols and praxis and questions.